Hi, in 2024, right, the Malaysian government reported about 1.75 billion of losses due to scam. If we do a simple calculation, that would translate to nearly 5 million of loss per day because of scam. And scammers are not just scamming the ordinary people. In fact, the level of scam has always been perpetrated to very deep into the society, including the business community. So one of the way that they will aim at business community is to give you that kind of false hope that you thought you're going to get business opportunity, and then you realize that it's actually a scam. Now, one of the example that I would like to share with you all is how we get emails from potential customers that they have expressed interest that they want to do business with you. They want to invite you to become their vendor, and eventually it's actually a scam. How do we identify that these kind of emails are actually scammers and they are not legit? I would like to share some tips with you all. Now, this is basically an email that I have received, and if you take a quick glance, you might find that it's an email from Sime Darby, and they are actually asking us to register as their vendor. So they say that Sime Darby is committed to fostering global partnerships and collaborating with suppliers, contractors, and then they would like us to go through their vendor assessment, and then they say that this is the profile that they want and so on. Now, at first glance, you might be thinking that, wow, Sime Darby is thinking of doing business with me. That's a good news because they are a big companies. And number two, you might also be excited with the potential business opportunity, and then easily you would just want to comply, thinking that, you know, there's no harm for me to just send over my company's profile, my information, and so on. But do remember, when they want to scam you, they don't scam you right from the beginning. They will always invite you to engage with them, and they will slowly convince you that it is not a scam. Now, so how do we pick up the red flags? Now, first of all, we can see that the address over here is very, very strange. Although you see that the sender is supposed to be Halimatun Khairuddin, but the sender's email is danielswingen@gmail.com. Now, the first thing that we got to ask ourselves is, would a company so big like Sime Darby Property but sending an email from Gmail? Now, that's already one of the red flags that we are looking at. Now, number two, they do say that they are asking you to fill in their vendor assessment form. And obviously here that there's no form for you to fill, but they will ask you to go to send all these things to an email that is vendor-2@simedarby.com. Now, even the domain that they have chosen, it's trying to portray that as though this is a real Sime Darby. That's why it's called simedarby.com. Now, but what we can do, or what we should do, is always check it out whether this is actually the true domain of the company. So what I can do is I could just come to Google and just type simedarby.com, and obviously you can see that this is not a valid site, so you will not be able to see any information. So that suggests to us that this is not the real domain. Now, in fact, if you just Google Sime Darby, you probably will find that the actual domain for Sime Darby is simedarby.com. So this is obviously not a true one. Now, then, if a companies like Sime Darby, if they truly want to invite you to become their vendor, usually what kind of process that they're going to go through. Now, you can check it out. For example, I would just Google Sime Darby vendor, and then you could see that in their official website, they have a process flow of indicating to you this is the process of how that they will search for a vendor. So they will ask you to go through all these processes, and you got to ask yourself, is the email reflecting the actual process according to their official website, which obviously it is not true. Now, if you go down, you could see they further ask you that if you are interested to be their approved vendor, now you should visit their e-procurement portal, which the link is here. Now, obviously, when you come to the e-procurement portal, you could see that they have already given you a warning. They say scam alert. So if you click this, you could see that these are example of things that they caution you to be careful, and say that whenever you receive all these kind of emails, be extra careful that it is not them. Now, so these are some of those things that we can do to basically protect ourselves, to just make sure that we do not fall into the tactics of the scammers. Do remember, a lot of times the scammers are not aiming at those people who are careful, but they are aiming at those people who are careless, because they will basically send out these kind of emails to tens of thousands of people, and they just need one or two of them to fall into basically their tactics, and then, you know, engage with them and be convinced by them, and eventually that's where they will scam away your money. So please be extra careful. Now, always stay calm whenever you see emails like this, and ask yourself to think twice and check it out.